Hey folks, back for another episode of Ace Anime, and we are still continuing our Sailor Moon kick.
Yeah!
If you want to put it that way.
So,
the last episode, remember telling you we went to the movies and watched Sailor Moon in theaters. Well, we talked about Sailor Moon R. Well, we also saw, it was actually a double feature we went to see, and we actually saw Sailor Moon S. So, this is actually the first time I think I remember seeing this movie. I might have saw it on YouTube or something like years ago.
It was definitely the first time I saw it. So.
Me too.
Well, of course you.
He is our token outsider, as we have before mentioned.
So once again, Dave and the rest are joining me as we discuss more of... fine. As we discuss...
One of us!
As we discuss another, I guess, good movie?
Enthralling trip into the world of Sailor Moon.
Two out of us?
Yo, why do I always gotta be... See, you make me the negative guy.
You wonder why? Because you said this one was not as good as the last one.
Okay, so out of the 3 Sailor Moon things I've seen, that is correct. This one was not as good as the first movie, and so far the musical has been my favorite, but that's because it's been real people, and I totally respect all the work they put into it.
Tuxedo Mask is beautiful.
Yes. So...
He was less so in this one, though. Compared to the first movie that we talked about.
This is true. This one was much less Mamoru-centric.
Very much less.
Spoilers. I did like his Santa Claus cosplay.
Oh, he's so extra! He's so extra! Why did he consider that necessary? Anyway.
So ladies and gentlemen, just so you have a context of why we said Santa Claus, in this particular movie, it is around Christmas time. It's winter break for them. And
we tried the beginning montage of all the girls in their winter clothes, which was super cute.
And in this series, everything starts out smooth, and Luna gets sick. So Luna ends up getting so sick to the point where she almost gets ran over by a vehicle that apparently didn't want to stop for the cat, let alone for the human that saved the cat.
Okay, bonus point. So, I don't know if they did it on purpose or if I'm just weird, but the animation of the guy driving the car reminded me of one of the guys from I think it's called Hi Yokashi or something. The guy has a spirit gun.
Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho?
Huh?
Talk about Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yes, that. So, there's this guy in that show who wears like a tracksuit and has a weird looking hairstyle.
Yeah.
Kind of his rival. I swear to God, I thought that was him driving the car.
That would be amazing.
That would be funny.
When you guys watch it again, you're going to look now.
Probably. So in this movie, after Luna ends up getting saved, she ends up falling in love with said human named Kakaru. So
4 minutes after saying, God, I don't know if I ever fall in love. I was like, oh, I know where this is going.
Breaking poor Artemis's heart. How dare she? Anyway.
But that said, that's plot number 1. Plot number 2 is actually dealing with a story of in space. There's an ice asteroid that just happens to be out there in the world, and it has a ice princess on it who's determined to turn, Earth into a block of ice.
Go full on Snow Queen.
Which is funny because I still think she's one of the weakest villains I've ever seen in my life in this movie. But we'll get to that in a minute. So
she was like the weakest motivation. She was like,
yeah, it really was.
I thought she was the best dressed.
That's fair. So
no comment. Though
the plot happens, and she actually has lost one of her crystals on the planet, trying to look for it to start her plan in motion. Well, fortunately, when the one that lands in Japan is not being found, it is found by the guy named Kakaru. Which actually is affecting him, physically. Like, he literally could die at any moment.
He's an astronomer, by the way. He was looking through a telescope.
He's super nerdy.
He saw the comet. He saw the asteroid. He saw the crystal.
He believes in moon people.
He knows why kids choose Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
He knows how many licks it takes to get the cinnamon toast.
Got 4 or 5 PhDs.
It just happens.
Just like you do.
I'm straight and I'm in love.
And he was so beautiful.
Good to animals.
He was a good animal.
So our Snow Queen is doing everything in her power to find this crystal to get her plans in motion, sending down little snow dancers to cause havoc Which I think is hilarious because...
Yeah, which everything in her power means she's standing on her asteroid,
Asteroid,
cackling, and being like, go, my minions, go find this thing. And they come back like, have you found the thing? No. Go find the thing.
Do better. We're entering Act 2. Double your efforts.
So she wasn't super intimidating, I didn't think.
Not quite. Well, one of the major plot points to this is the fact that Kakeru has determined that there's Kaguya, the Princess of the Moon, out there. Like, he is determined, like, this is something I've seen.
He was close.
He was close, but wasn't quite there. But that becomes like a centric theme for the idea of our villain and the idea of his dream for space. Like, he wants to meet this Kaguya. He wants to go out in space. That's something he actually wants to do.
They kind of play up he has an imagination, a poet's soul. He believes in the mystical and the mythical in addition to the scientific.
Mm-hmm. I think it's great. I think it's great that he was both. That he wasn't just like the shamanistic guy who's like, "What is science? Flat Earth." No, he was
or
like
the
PhD
opposite,
guy.
Or the opposite. All colors are just a bending of the light rays.
Yes. Now, the figure art that we
from the Dragons movie.
Yes.
From the Fly Dragons movie.
Now, the figure that you saw is a version of Sailor Moon when she goes super, which is featured quite a lot in season 3, over and over and over again, unnecessarily for some reason.
So, I think that's actually my favorite version of her.
Everyone digs butterfly wings.
The thing about it is her super form and the original manga story.
Wait,
is
are you saying she goes super sailor?
Yes, she has a super form. Yes.
How my friendship.
Larissa got it.
I'm ignoring you. I was like,
I'm here for you, David.
I'm ignoring you.
I'm here to bounce your terrible jokes back at you.
But
with our powers combined,
the original storyline,
Puntastic.
When she goes into Super Sailor Moon, she's actually able to keep the form and actually fight with it.
Okay.
And in season 3, at the very beginning, when she first learns how to do it, she can't sustain it. And so it becomes a plot point to where it's hurtful when
she can't figure out that the cat she lives with loves the only other freaking talking cat in the world. I'm not surprised this girl... I'm just happy she walks down the street without falling down.
She doesn't even do that most days.
What are you talking about? Like, we watched literally in the last movie when they go crashing, everyone else lands on her feet. She's the only one that lands on her ass.
Oh, that was beautiful. Everyone's like, listen, hero pose, hero pose, hero pose. And you're just like, ouch!
Oh, God!
You can be a klutz, and you can be unobservant as two separate factors.
Not when you're Sailor Moon.
She just happens to be
Not
the girl
Usagi.
with it all.
Usagi. But she still gets the guy that everyone in the universe is in love with. Somehow he managed to pick
Totally
her.
not in love with. Okay, to be fair, science guy, so far, best guy.
I agree.
The only problem is the way he treats
can't.
the girl that likes him. He's a dumbass.
He is
I
a
agree.
dumbass. He thought he was doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think he was trying to push her away so she could go on with her life and go to space and blah, blah, blah.
So it is what happens. So, without giving away all the juice, too many of the real juicy bits of the storyline, because once again, really short movie. It's only about an hour, so literally we could talk about it and literally spoil the entire thing from beginning to end.
There's a lot of snow maidens.
There are snow maidens. At one point, I swear they were playing Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies, but they weren't. It just sounded like it.
Yeah, I thought that too. and the other thing is that if you watch the last review, we talked about there only being 5. This time there were 8 of the Guardians.
The best
Saturn
girls.
was not there.
The best.
Actually, 9 of the Guardians.
Yes, Chibi, what's her face?
Chibi
yes.
Moon.
At this
Chibi
point,
Moon can transform now.
Yes, she can transform at this point.
Still felt more like a joke than a real.
But no, Haruka and
It
Michiru
does
showed
seem
up.
that way because that's the way the series kind of played it up. It was kind of a joke.
They call her Chibi Usa, which is literally like small Usa, because her name is actually Usagi.
Well, they sleep the same way.
To be fair, they call her Small Lady because that is actually part of her name.
Yeah.
And so And yeah, she does take after her mother 100%.
She's like basically. She's
Wait,
basically.
she's
Usagi.
her kid?
Yes.
Yes.
Time travel, man.
Spoiler!
Time travel.
Yes, that's why they
Taken
act the
after her
same.
dad.
Gotcha.
But now they
And that's why they look the same too.
And they have the same name.
The same idea of the whole buns and the long hairs, the same deal. In this film, what really stood out here? What were the ups? Go ahead, Larissa.
I've just completely forgotten everything that happened in the movies.
I enjoyed the animation
I
style.
you forget everything that happened in the movie.
I got distracted by thinking about Chibi Moon and her whole story arc. I'm like,
Go
wait.
ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
I like the animation style of the villain. They used this kind of... It was a totally different animation style from the rest of the movie in the beginning.
Yes.
I don't know if it was computer graphic or not because I don't have an eye for that, but I liked it. I thought it was really cool.
Good. To be honest, I did like this movie a lot because, this is the time where we finally get to see all of the Sailor Scouts. And,
Except for Saturn.
Well,
True.
this is in the middle of her season. And that,
yeah,
where she's-
so she hasn't actually been introduced yet as a Sailor Scout yet. By the time this movie would have came out.
Stuff is happening.
So, and I think it's cool, though Pluto, I don't have to admit, it's my favorite one because she's the only person that doesn't scream her freaking attack.
She
just
does
says
have
it.
the coolest attack. She's kind of dead, looks directly at the camera.
What did
It's
she
like,
say? Dead Storm or
Scream.
something?
Scream.
Dead Scream, which is like the most
Dead
gothic
Scream.
attack ever.
Yeah,
Plus, she does it ironically by not screaming it.
Yes.
Exactly. Yep.
that's what makes it so funny.
It's
But-
beautiful. No, she's
Well,
great.
Mars with her fire soul and the fire mandolin or mandala.
Mandolin. Fire mandolin. Ding, 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 ding.
Like the love chain was any better. I mean,
Venus Love Me chain.
Which is funny because they changed the name in English in the original dubbing. It's Love Chain and Circle for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, in the original dub.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it was always, they changed a lot of the names.
I believe it.
yeah, you
and
can't
so-
have this one chick amongst 8 other chicks yelling love chain by itself. Not in the early 90s, not yet.
Love me chain. Get your head out of that gutter.
That's the greatness. She also has the crescent beam, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, the crescent beams are. Well, that's my thing is like, here's these ice people. Maybe you who shoot water, stop. And you who shoot fire, double.
I'm like, don't these girls like play Pokemon? Don't they know anything about type advantage?
What are you talking about? We watched Jupiter just go.
Yes, that was one of my favorite things. It's like,
Oh, Jupiter is so good. She is so good. She's such a delinquent.
and your girl Pluto, she was actually, fighting with that staff
Yeah,
instead of just holding it.
She was like Rafiking all
Yeah.
up in that place.
Until they all got slammed against either a wall, ice, something like that.
Oh, the
It-
Sailor
it-
Scouts are really good at taking a punch.
Yes,
Well, they-
very cool.
Oh,
Very good at taking a
As
punch.
an old-fashioned guy, that makes me feel really bad.
It's
like,
They
where-
gotta
what
take a
can you
punch.
say?
I gotta take a punch. It's like, well,
They give as good as they
between
get,
these
though.
last two movies, literally, I've never seen people get slammed in so many walls
Oh my gosh.
through glass,
Yep.
through a telephone
That's why they
booth,
get knocked through a
all this other
window.
stuff that they can run into and to get up like, all right, we can still
Or if I
fight.
brushes glass off your skirts.
Well,
Like,
like,
okay,
oh,
back to business.
I was like, I couldn't imagine that.
How do these girls are good at school with like
What's the-
black eyes?
What's the
and,
anime
like,
song? Fighting something by moonlight?
Fighting evil by moonlight?
Yeah, and then they gotta like
Winning
Do
love
re-
by day.
you gotta do repairs and home improvement by daylight.
Actually, that's the one thing I thought was amusing is when the snow dancers show up for the first time, they wreak havoc. Things are getting trashed and whatnot, and then like everyone thaws out for the first time.
Right.
And then-
Like,
Like,
mid stride. It's like
everyone looks around and nobody says anything, and they're like, "Yeah, Japan, going on about our lives."
and then there's one-
Just another Tuesday. We're all late for the meetings.
No, it's almost like Super Sentai. It's like giant robots.
Right.
Oh well, we'll just fix that sector that got destroyed and we'll move on.
We needed a new bridge anyway.
I gotta go get my coffee first. It's like no fixing robot destruction until after I've had my coffee.
I've never understood that. I was like, man, the people in the construction business are making some money. I'll tell you that right now.
How do you defeat Godzilla? Move. If there's no tall buildings, he has nothing to break.
Exactly.
That was amazing.
I like
what did you like now that you can semi-remember this movie?
I liked the focus on the cats. I liked them actually doing things besides just being the Deus Ex Machina. Here's important like.
True, the love story to me was the bigger focus of this movie, and the villain kind of was
seems to be the focus of the anime.
Well, no, I mean
Luna's
Luna's little love story.
No, I get that.
But
You mean a legitimate romance instead of whatever Usagi's doing?
Pretty much.
How dare you? They had the top OTP.
And the idea behind it is that the focus on the cats and that kind of romance, and I think that was the biggest plot of the movie, where the Snow Queen showing up and kind of being like, I'm going to be a bad guy for this movie. I'm just going to be more of a...
Did she even get a name?
Well, she took the name. She took the princess, whatever.
She's they refer to her as Snow Kaguya. So basically she took that name.
The other thing to remember is she had been to Earth before,
She had.
but a silver light pushed her away, and they couldn't figure out what that meant. I'm like, I've seen one freaking movie, and I'm like, oh, hello, don't you have a silver crystal in your makeup case / necklace?
The brooch thing.
Well, does she open it up like a compact?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And the thing about it is, I will agree with Dave on that one. That's the only thing. Like they have this prophecy, and the prophecy with love and friendship, along with the silver crystal, we'll win. I don't understand.
That seems so unprecedented.
I don't understand.
That's never
They
happened
finally get
before.
the final fight, and it's like silver crystal. I got it, guys. We need to put our love and friendship together and help her.
And the audience is like, no way! Why didn't we see that coming?
It's like you will find a vehicle, and it's the key to your success. I wonder what we need to do to save the day and find a pizza.
They're brilliant.
I do have to admit, that to me is what made that worse than Sailor Moon R.
I know what the S stands for. Stupid.
Oh god.
I just bet most of the movie feeling bad for Artemis.
Aww.
I think the whole audience did.
They really were literally people.
Aww.
Every time Artemis was like on screen being sad, you could hear all of us just being like, no!
Damn.
Poor kitty!
Luna found romance is great, blah, 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 blah. And Artemis walks out the room, and Venus is the only one that's like, really, guys? Like, come on.
Oh, no. It's like she got it. I don't know. Was she the only one who got it? I thought the other ones kind of got it.
No. Everyone else was still talking about it, but she's the only one that noticed that he was sad and walked out the room.
Yep.
Well, it is her namesake.
So it's kind of like, oh.
And the name of her attack.
And it's just, wow.
Yeah,
But I guess if I had a true part I liked was something that happens in a little bit way later in the manga that never actually happens in the original TV series.
Well, that's not fair.
It's how the cookie crumbles.
It's how it happened because.
So your favorite part wasn't even in the movie.
Well, it was, but
lead up.
Oh, okay.
It's a lead up.
Explanation.
What happens in the movie is, remember, spoiler alert.
Pause now if you don't want to be spoiled.
Luna gets a human form.
Right.
That happens in the manga.
Okay.
Her, Artemis, and Diana. They're a kid. They all have human forms.
Who's Diana?
Artemis
Artemis
and
is
Luna's
kid.
daughter.
Oh.
She hasn't shown up.
She doesn't show up yet. They have human forms. They actually show up later in the series. Never happens in the original series until this movie.
Does it happen in, like, full moons or something?
No, it's something they were actually capable of doing.
Yeah, because they're like a separate kind of separate people or something.
Yeah, they actually were capable of always doing that.
Are they space cats?
Yes.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Where, like, here, they actually show her human form, her actual human form, what she actually looks like.
In different contexts.
In different contexts. And I was like, oh, like, cool.
That's a good way to slide that in there.
They slid it in there because apparently probably by the time this movie happened, it already had shown itself in the manga.
You gotta realize, from my understanding, Sailor Moon's always been a magic girl show.
Yes.
Okay, so I thought the cats were magic.
They
But
are.
now with the 2 movies and the musical, I'm seeing a lot of space stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Everything kind of is relative to that. You had the moon people, you had the people of Earth, and then everyone else that's showing up is coming from other stars and other planets to come and attack. And
Some are plants, some are ice folk.
Yeah.
I get it.
So Yeah, it's all space related, but that makes sense. Which also why their names are all planets and stuff like that, including the Sailor Stars that you met in
the musical.
Yeah, they're from a different.
Because
the ones that were boys until they transformed into women.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
those.
Well, technically they were always women. They just used men as a disguise. Like I know it's all sorts of confusing.
Don't think about it too much; you'll make your brain bend.
Yeah, just a little bit. But the reason why the series was nowhere near similar to the original manga is because, well, they had to wait for the manga to be produced. The manga was 40 or 50 pages in chapter and came out monthly.
Okay.
So that's why you have like 40. That's why you have like 5-10 episodes of like just Sailor Moon fighting before she ever meets Mercury, because by the time they start the series, it's all right. Episode chapter 1, cool. So what's happening in chapter 2? Meets Mercury? Well, we gotta waste some time. So we're gonna do Monster of the Week. And then, okay, now we'll introduce this. Now we'll introduce this.
Yep.
And so
oh my.
That's why you have 46 episodes literally in season 1, is that where Cinnamon Crystal goes, all right, 14, done.
Because they already know what's going on. Yeah. But I think it's great because some of those filler episodes are just delights. They're in themselves.
Well, it's a bit of world building, character building a lot. Like, it's a good chance to get some of the other characters that didn't really shine in the original series at all, and all of a sudden go, boom, here we go. And because there are characters in the actual animated series that are like the one boy who always tried to get Usagi, like the little nerd kid.
Yeah.
Like, he played almost nothing. And there's
it was like name dropped, I think.
And like he would show up, he'd be like, "Hey, Usagi, how about a date?" No, not happening. It's like,
yes, good times.
And then her best friend Naru.
Yeah.
Now she did play a slight role in the first season ish, but after that, a lot of those characters just kind of fall by the wayside.
Oh, you mean like her parents and the brother that no one...
I mean, you see them, they're there, but after a while, they're just so far.
Because that's not the part that you're interested in. You want to watch the space battles.
Because now it's like, we gotta save the world again. Now we gotta save the world again. We gotta save the world again.
So
we gotta figure out what happened to Helios.
What's your scoring for the movie? Tell them.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were the one to ask the question, so I was gonna answer you. I'm sorry.
Did you not mean to ignore you, audience? We love you.
Sorry, we like it. That he's also trying to speed things along. Anyway, so
not speed, just stay on track.
What is that?
Have we met before? Have we done an 8-star before where we were on track?
Yes. Yes. The first one of these, we stayed on track very well.
What?
I know.
Lies.
So, like the tangibles.
Go ahead.
The tangibles are things that we can observe: the audio and the animation. The intangibles are the things that we feel. How was the story? How was the enjoyment?
Did it make your Kokoro go doki doki?
Yeah,
not him. If it did, it scares me. He might be having a heart attack.
Listen, I can bring good and bad out of the movie.
Then go for it.
Balance. Tell us your thoughts.
Give us your thoughts.
So visually, I enjoyed this one so much more than the first one. It blended, in my opinion, the 80s, the 80s, early 90s, and started becoming the late 90s, early 2000 animation. They worked them together, I felt. Now, that may be my improper imagination, but it had that look to me when the villain was animated one way, and then they went back to the Sailor Moon animation of the first movie, and then they kept going back and forth. I liked it. Audio, again, did its job. Nothing stands out spectacular to me, but nothing also stands out horrible to me. The volume was still kind of rough because of the movie theater we were in, so Japanese girls screaming really loud their attacks. Yeah. And surround sound was slightly
except for Pluto. Do not.
Don't be dissing the man's wife.
I'm gonna shove a cat in your trousers.
Why? Why?
I don't know. It just seemed to go along with the movie theme.
No.
You me put a yellow ribbon on it. Tie a yellow ribbon around your little wild cat.
I have to leave now. Goodbye.
So I give it a 3.5.
Okay, you a 3.5.
I will also probably give it 3.5 for pretty much the same reasons. I think the animation styles were a lot better, but then again, this is the second movie. Time has gone by. Animation's gotten a lot better for the series itself by this point. And so audio is still about the same music, same theme songs for every character and whatnot, including, when we finally get to Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto's transformations that we finally get to see.
The transformation music is on point. Oh, it's so good.
And so I just enjoyed it a lot. I think not too much needs to be said for that. So 3.5 for me.
I'm gonna give it 4 because I really like the way this one looked and sounded, and didn't have this terrible, shoehorned in CGI, which was great.
That is true. That is true.
Why don't you go ahead and take us into the intangibles too?
All right. Into the intangibles we go. I didn't enjoy this one as much as the first one, most because Mamoru only showed up very briefly, and he showed up in the most extra ridiculous way possible. He showed up dressed as Santa Claus, literally Santa Claus, riding a sleigh. And he pops out of the costume. Is like,
Merry Christmas
and Happy New Year,
and a Happy New Year.
I'm like, why? What was the point of that? No.
I'm pretty sure this movie came out around Christmas time,
right.
Itself.
It's he's so extra. I love him to death, but they need more of him. The Luna romance felt a little bit shoehorned because it's Luna felt a little bit out of character to me. But on the whole, it was great. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I had my favorite. I had the Arbor Guardians in there, which always made me really happy because Haruka and Michiru are just my everything. So I'm gonna give it a 3.
Dave,
I am not going to be so generous.
Really?
First one, the movie was good. The story was good.
Yes.
This one, the story was weak. And it was not the character's fault. It was the villain's fault. While the villain is just showing up in orbit and ready to freeze the Earth because things that are still and icy are good and quiet and nothing can hurt, that's an interesting concept. Had she started with it, had she showed up going, there's too much chaos and I must quiet them all. Okay, not, I miss my crystal. Go find them. The reason that the villainess was doing
was
things.
A very two-dimensional villain.
Yeah. It was like, hi, I'm made of ice. I'll be your villain today.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. She seemed more like a plot device more than anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Than anything else.
So
we could have just removed her and just had the snow dancers without any dialogue at all.
Yeah, just random ice things are showing up, and oh look, there's this crystal that's sucking his life, and the cat's in love with that guy. Now that we know what's going on, let's save the day.
Yeah,
I could have totally bought that. Yeah. So I give the story a 2. Enjoyment wise, I'm giving it a 1.5 because there is so much stupid to me that I can't stand it. There's a chick who shoots fire against ice people. Yo, maybe let her be the star today. I know it's Sailor Moon, but this is Sailor shoots fire against ice. There's 8 people.
It's hyphenated.
Why can't they work together? Why can't they protect one another while they're fighting instead of going, you shoot, and you get slammed in the wall at the same time, and we'll wait our turn, then we'll get slammed in the wall.
That's gonna happen too.
If they're a team based on love and friendship, they might want to start using it.
Start studying some tandem tactics there.
Right. Maybe they do it in the anime. Maybe they do it in the manga. Maybe they do it later. And
Heck no. In the anime, the Outer Scouts didn't want anything to do with the Inner Scouts whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they knew for a fact that they realistically had. There's no reason for them to be on Earth ever. I'll actually explain that now. Because, No. There's a reason I want to explain this. Because they're actually more powerful than the Inner Senshi.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually meant to stop forces before they ever get to Earth. If anything gets to Earth, it's because it's not really worth their time.
Like what the real outer planets do for the solar system.
I mean, they're just
things that come into our solar system normally don't make it to the inner system because of the gravitational pull of Jupiter and Saturn. It's so strong.
I mean, Pluto's just straight up this time goddess. She is
right. Okay.
So she don't need them.
So
she don't need them.
My intangibles are going to be
She's a strong, independent Senshi.
1.5.
There you go. Well, I have to give it a 2. The story killed it for me, and I do have to agree because. It's like love story, and then just oh crap, we forgot to put in a villain. Here, bam,
yeah,
there we go. I was like,
we need Conflict.
I could have enjoyed the love story between the cat and the human had she just not said, "I hope I never fall in love." 3 minutes before she falls in love.
Yeah.
Well, I figured that was going to happen. That's it's just what it is. But in terms of overall enjoyment, I always enjoy Sailor Moon, but the problem is the story is so weak in this one, it throws it all off.
It does. So,
2's about right where I'm going to give it that. So, anyway, keeping score at home, I gave it a 5.5. If I'm not mistaken, you gave 5 total. And you gave it a 7.
I think I'm out for 7 from
Yep.
yeah.
So there you
it's
have
very hard for me to not score these high. I'm just in love with them so much.
And that's okay.
Yes.
I mean, there was no Pac-Man. I was offended.
Actually, I believe that from you.
That's how it works.
I believe that 100%.
I absolutely believe that.
Okay.
But overall, these 2 movies have been great. Now, I did mention in the last episode that there's actually 3 movies.
Sailor Moon TRST.
You made that joke last time, and I'm still
It's
not
still
giving it
funny.
Get out.
I'm still not giving
No,
it.
it's my room.
He's no longer here.
That's okay. That was adorable.
I'm just like, nope.
I liked it. I liked it.
Teamwork.
Yes.
Better than the Scouts.
We got our 10 times
Exactly.
down.
We didn't even have to think about it. We just did it. So, now, the third movie is Sailor Moon Super S. And this is the last of the movies they actually had done for the series. Unfortunately, I don't know if we'll all be able to make it to that one.
I'll let you know.
We'll
I
have
think
to.
if you two make it, you should do your own review again.
Yes.
And then I can watch it on YouTube and leave all kinds of snotty remarks down at the bottom.
A troll.
Which I'm 100% okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Which I'm 100% okay with. But
I'm only like 88% okay with it.
if nothing else, we will bring that review to you one way or another. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chris. Larissa.
I'm Dave.
No.
No, there's no Dave.
There's no Dave.
He's an illusion.
No Dave.
There was no Dave.
No Dave.
You never saw
Never
Dave.
Dave. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
No Dave. No Dave.